All right, well, good morning. Welcome to First Friday. I cannot believe it's November. Good grief. So, first of all, I wanted to say a huge shout out to anyone and everyone that was involved in Niwala and to the Niwala board. It was an awesome year. We had a great festival. Our community received lots and lots of good compliments about the hospitality, all of the activities, how well everything was organized. So give yourself a round of applause, because I know everybody in the room probably at one point or another has helped out with Niwala, and if you haven't, we will get you plugged in. So. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Okay.
She does everything. She's amazing.
Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, so we had, speaking of that, we hit the ground running, and yesterday we had 2 events, and I want to tell you that we had 50 people in our community on a bus tour from Joplin, Missouri, and once again, they had a great experience. They had a community tour, a historic homes tour by Ken Brown. They were at the Inge House. They saw a scene from Picnic. It was wonderful. They went out to the park and the zoo. They rode the carousel. They got great treatment. They went downtown. They had all kinds of Independence hospitality, and we look forward to them coming back and sending more bus tours to Independence. So that went really well. And then we hit the ground, literally, downtown with Trunk or Treat. It was the 3rd year of the Chamber-sponsored Trunk or Treat, and to all of you who put trunks down there, because we wouldn't have Trunk or Treat if you guys didn't do it. And we had 67 trunks. We had probably 1,500 people. I know we had 1,000 kids down there, and it was so much fun. The weather was just chilly enough to feel like October and November, and it was great. So thank you to everybody who helped with Trunk or Treat, and we will be doing that again next year, but it'll be with a little bit of a twist because it falls during Niwala, so we'll tell you about that when we get a little bit closer and decide what it is we're going to do. As I always say, we can't have our event without our business sponsor. They're the ones that take care of us and keep us full and give us the hot coffee from Annie Mae's. So at this time, it is actually my huge pleasure to introduce our city commissioner, a gentleman who's been a key player in the success of Independence through his investments. As I was thinking about, I probably have missed lots of things, but he's done so much for our community, not just as serving as one of our commissioners, but the investments that he's made into our community. Some we are seeing, some we will see in the future, but the investment in Apricot Lane in downtown, the reinvestment in Laurel Street Bakery, relocating them to our downtown area, an investor and key player in Indie Brew Works that's opening this weekend, and our new barbecue restaurant that is starting construction today, possibly. He's the contractor's in town, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. Would you please welcome Gary Hogsett?
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be here this morning. Thanks for being here. This is always amazes me that we get such a great crowd for this event, and it's such a great event. We are very excited about some upcoming stuff. You know, we announced Dickey's, a long time ago. When we first moved to town and we were sort of fishing around for what businesses Independence would like to see, the thing we heard most was a woman's clothing store, thus Apricot Lane, but a close second was a barbecue restaurant. And so we've been working on that for some time, and I apologize that it's taking so long. Everything I do seems to take much longer than it should, but this is a particularly lengthy process. Partially Dean Hayes' fault. He's been helping us clear out that building, and if it wouldn't have taken months and months and months to clean all that stuff out of there, we'd be a little further ahead. But we did have a little bit of a problem. Dickey's is the largest barbecue chain in the world. They started in 1941. They have about 600 restaurants. And when we started checking out all the national barbecue chains, this is the one that we wanted to work with. But they typically go in little strip shopping centers. They've never actually done a historic building. So it's just taken a lot longer to get it going than we thought it would. There was a contractor they particularly wanted us to work with out of Detroit that specializes in renovating historic buildings into restaurants. They've done this hundreds of times, and it's just taken a long time to get all the pieces put together. A lot of the local contractors will be helping out. I see Brian in the back. Lee's Heating and Cooling will do all the HVAC. Blankenship Electric will do the electric. Matt Bateson will do the roofing. So we are trying to keep as much of it as we can local. They had planned to start finally the first week of October, and they came and looked at the site and got very, very excited about it. But then when we started talking about Neowalla, they said, oh my God. Do we want to try to start construction and have a big storage unit out front, dumpsters out front, and then have to take all that away for Neowalla and send all the crews home for a week? So they decided to wait. So we are getting started. Lisa said today. That's not technically true. We're actually starting next week. But you will see a lot of activity going on there. And they say it's a 90-day process once we start construction until we're open. So they're thinking they will be open February 1st. And, yeah. And I really, really, really hope you'll come support it because, man, have we borrowed a lot of money. Chuck Goad's not here because he's still in a panic mode with how much money he's loaned us. But anyway, very, very excited. I hope it will be a boost for the downtown. I hope you'll all be regular barbecue eaters. I know we have some fantastic barbecue already. I see the Burskins both here who make the world's best barbecue. We can't even try to compete with the Burskins. But it will be really good barbecue, I promise. So anyway, thanks for coming this morning, and think barbecue.
We promised to eat barbecue. Boy, I tell you, people were eating pizza at Brothers Railroad Inn. That's a busy place on Thursday evening, so no more cooking. We'll just all eat out all the time. So let's see here. It's time to kind of go over our community calendars. So once again, Michelle and Amy have put together the calendar. Lots of good information in there. We're going to go through, and we've got some that are going to do some shout outs, so I might just quickly pass through them, but grab a pen off the table and take your pen and mark some dates on here so that you can then look at them a little bit more when you get home. And also there are flyers on the flyer table, a lot of them. Michelle and Amy have filled that up over there, so there's lots of flyers. Most everything will be posted on our Facebook page, so you'll be able to see those or go to those events Facebook page, those businesses or organizations' Facebook pages, and you'll be able to see that. And also encourage you to share all of that information. So when you see that come up on your feed and you think, oh, I want to go to that, that also should trigger, I need to share that, because if you want to go, hopefully others want to go. So that's how we get the news out there. The museum is doing a soup to go event. Actually, it's today. So once again, no cooking. Just go to the museum and get some soup. The Lions Club, they're going to be well, I can go ahead and talk about this. Sherry has some tickets. Yes? No soup? No soup. You must, let's see, where can we eat? Yeah. There's lots of other options in town. No soup today. Okay. And so beans, though. Saturday, tomorrow, is the bean feed. And that's the Lions Club bean feed. It's from 11 to 2:30. Sherry, I think, has some tickets that she'll sell you. You can get tickets at the door, too. And this is going to be their biggest fundraiser. They do this once a year. It's great beans, great cornbread. But bonus this year, they've partnered with the college, and so along with the ticket price to get in to get the beans, you also can get into the 1 o'clock game when the Pirates will take on, I believe, Highland tomorrow. So that's a bonus. So for the low price of $7, you can get lunch and then head on out to the football game. And they tell me that Netflix is going to be at the football game. They are coming back to Independence for one last show and some filming, so you can check that out as well. And again, that game is at 1 o'clock, and they are playing Highland. And they have got a great record, and Coach Harris is doing an awesome job, so kudos to him. We're going to hear from Eclectics. They have a lot of activities going on, and we've put in there it's daylight savings time, so don't forget to change your calendars. Election Day is next week. Very, very important that you get to the polls and make your voting decision, so make sure you mark that down. Basketball starts, one of my favorite times of year. So if you slide on down to November 6th, Independence Community College will be having some home basketball games. So that's fun and exciting. November 9th is our Veterans Day of Honor, which is part of our program today. So we won't talk about all of the events there. And on the 9th also, in the evening, is going to be a great concert right here in Memorial Hall. It's Sidewalk Prophets. You're going to hear a shout out about that. You'll want to get your tickets for that. November the 15th, we have the Anna Plays, and then we also out at the college, and we also have a Home Sweet Home Turkey Dinner fundraiser that I left off the calendar. So we will get that on the calendar for Renita, but she's going to talk about that. So I apologize for that. We'll get that taken care of. And let's see, we've got Aspen, who's going to talk about the turkey trot and do some drawings. And we have Larry from the college, who's going to talk about the jazz band concert that will be in December, and lots of other craft fairs that are coming up, lots and lots of things. So be sure and hold on to that calendar. It's full of November and December information. But lastly, I will say, if there's anything that we missed, if there's an error besides soup to go, we will get all of those things corrected, and then this afternoon we'll put that out on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to see that and share that information, but we'll get those things corrected. And as always, please, please, please tell us everything that you know that's happening in the community so that we can get that information out. We put it on our Facebook page. We're finishing our training for a website, and then it will be live, so we'll have it there. We do radio announcements. I do the community calendar once a week, so I'm happy to plug your events if I can squeeze it all in. And then we do an interview on KGGF that's live. I'm happy to talk about anything that you would like for me to talk about then. And then I looked over and saw someone that made me think it was Lacey Lees. She's helping with recycling tomorrow. I need some help with recycling. If anyone has a burning desire to help sling trash tomorrow from 8 to 12 out at the recycling station at 21st and Maple, see me afterwards. It's fun. The weather's going to be good. You see lots of people, and it helps us do the right thing for our earth. So it's time to hear from our speakers, and our first speaker woke up sick this morning. So, and I really want you to hear his message. It's all about Toastmasters. He'll be here again. We'll get him in front of the group. And so you'll hear from him at a later time. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to the director of our library. Our library is such a blessing to our community. They always have lots of great programs. In fact, I was going to plug one today, and it's sold out. So there will be none of that unless you're one of the lucky ones that have your ticket. But Jeri Hopkins is here to talk about ways that we can have access to our library even when there's no one there. Please welcome our director, Jeri Hopkins.
Yeah, I have to pull it down, definitely. Thank you, Lisa, for the opportunity to speak about open access. 2 years ago, the library started a strategic planning process. We were asking people, what are your aspirations for your community? We asked them that because if you ask them what can the library do for you, they don't really know. So some of the things we heard was, we need to have more connection between our organizations. So we started Toastmasters, which you're going to hear about at a future date. We started the grant writers of Montgomery County, and we invited all the grant writers to come, and we have a monthly meeting where they get training, and they network, and they share ideas, and they work on their grants together. It's pretty exciting. And the staff began going out and joining organizations or helping other organizations, such as the Chamber. We did Imagination Library. We have somebody on their board. We helped with the Inge Festival. We help at the schools. We work with the Coalition for Children and the Lions Clubs and many, many other organizations. We also heard about no place for the kids to go. Well, we thought, yeah, there is a place for the kids to go. So we started upping our game. We have more classes and events than ever, and we spoke here about those before. We started remodeling the children's floor on the 3rd floor with the help of a CVR grant, a CVR Foundation grant, and the Community Foundation, or Community Chest, and also the city. If you haven't been to the third floor, you need to go because it's thriving and alive and it's extremely loud. We also heard about a need for a senior center, so we started with the senior day, and the seniors come and they have donuts and coffee in the morning with a social hour. They also have guest speakers. They do a afternoon event activity. They have a movie. It's really fun, and the group that come, 20 or 30 individuals, are really fun people, and I like to get to sit in on that once in a while. But the number one thing we heard about was, when are you going to open up on Saturdays? There we go. What's the problem with Saturdays? Why aren't you open on Saturdays? All libraries are open on Saturdays. Realistically, we'd have to hire a lot of staff, and we are limited to a $250,000 cap for raising taxes every year, and we would have to raise taxes 4 to 5 years before we could open. It's just not realistically ever going to happen. So we started looking around for a solution because we're the best small library in America, and we need to be open on Saturdays. So we discovered what we are calling open access. Oops, wrong way. That's right. After the initial installation costs, open access is the initial installation costs are going to be about $25,000. But after that, it's only going to be less than the cost of a part-time staff person, and it's something definitely manageable by the library. We'll be opening this spring, so it'll be something we can do now, not 5 years from now, and it'll allow us to double our hours. So the staff are incredibly excited about this. So are our patrons. When I told our number one patron, her name's Evelyn, her mother let me use her name, she was so excited she literally did a dance. She comes to the library all the time, and she can't imagine being able to get up in the morning and go to the library as soon as she's awake. Open access has been in operation for over 10 years. There's 750 libraries worldwide, but it's really new to the United States, and it's definitely new to Kansas. We'll be the first one in Kansas to have this. The libraries that do have it report that they have a 20 to 50% increased usage for their library space. And so what are you wondering? What is open access? How are we going to let people come to the library from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night? Well, it's like a gym membership for your library. I just can't figure this out, can I? So what you do is you take your library card, you swipe it like you would at a gym, you enter your PIN code, and the doors open and you can come in. In order to do it, you have to sign a contract with the library. You have to be in good standing with the library, so if you've had any complaints from other patrons or you've damaged property or anything like that, you won't be allowed to have access. You won't have your PIN code. And the children will have to come with a parent. There will also be about 35 cameras covering the entire library space, and we will be able to monitor that from home if necessary. So the police chief, when I talked to him about this, said he's pretty excited because it's going to make the library even safer than it's ever been before. So now I want to show you a video. It's from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's about their experience with open access. By the way, they call it Open Plus. We just didn't like that name, so. If you want to help us with the installation costs, you can go to our library website and click on the Donate Now button. It's on the front page, or you can stop by the library and donate there. And I can tell you that I know the patrons are excited about it because people are donating 20 cents, they're donating $10. These are people that don't necessarily have a lot of funds, and just those people have raised over $1,000 already.
Formed in 1996 after the dissolution of the Lake Lanier Regional Library System. And I like to think that we're one of the top libraries in the country, very proactive, forward-thinking, always looking to embrace new technologies and new services for the community.
During the economic downturn, we had to change our hours, and we had what was called a buddy branch system. So half our branches were open one set of hours and the other a different set. that was really difficult for our customers to come to terms with.
One of the things I was tasked with was fixing that and looking for ways to expand access. We're big believers in access here at GCPL. We think that our collections and resources should be available to the public the maximum amount of time. So we learned about the Open Plus product that Biblioteca had for a few years in Europe, and we offered ourselves as a test site here in North America to implement the new system.
It was just one of those things that when we heard about it, we knew that it was a match. We knew that it was something we wanted to do. And we didn't want to have to do some type of schedule. We were opening different times throughout the week, depending on the day, or closing at different times. So we chose to open at 8, we chose to close at 10, no matter what time the library itself, as staffed hours, was there. Open Plus was going to start at 8, was going to close at 10. I think the biggest question we got from staff right out of the gate was, does that mean you're going to be reducing staff? And the solid immediate answer to that was no. We weren't doing it in order to reduce staff. We were doing it in order to increase access to our community. If we had the money in order to staff the library from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., we would do it. But we just don't. And Open Plus gives us that ability to do it.
It was very interesting when we first implemented, because we were the first ones in North America. They actually flew in a team from England who spent a week here setting everything up and getting it optimized and working properly. And we have a very technically adept staff, and a staff that's used to change and used to a lot of new innovations and new products and being a test bed for different things. So I think that was key. You have to prepare your staff. There is a lot of change that's involved in implementing a solution, but I also think that the community here in Gwinnett is very accepting of change.
We have our very regular customers who are there every morning. They're waiting for the door to open at 8 o'clock, and they come in.
We have people from all over the world. It's a very diverse community. And so I think those factors have combined together to have a successful implementation here. And we're interested to see how it develops in Suwanee versus how it is here in Lawrenceville. We have a very different community here in Lawrenceville. So over time, we're going to study that carefully and see what the difference is between the two branches that have the Open Plus solution. It's been great to work with the team at Biblioteca, and we're looking forward to further expanding the system in the future.
So we're having the same trouble with Biblioteca that Gary had with Dickey's. They've never done a historical building before. They've always come in with a brand new Walmart-style large building that most large libraries have. So it's proved some challenges. We've been working on it for the last 6 months, but we're really excited about it, and I hope you all will support it and help us with the startup costs. Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have our Veterans Day of Honor event is coming up next Saturday, and we have a full list of activities starting first thing in the morning and going all the way through the parade in the afternoon. And we had to take it out of the calendar to make it fit. So what we did to make the calendar work, so we took all the events off of the calendar for today's purposes and then gave you one of these, a flyer regarding all of the lineup for November the 9th. And so all of the events are on here, and one of our committee members, April Nutt, is actually going to go through that, and we have some speakers. So at this time, I would like for everyone who has assigned a spot to come on up here, and we'll give you the cordless mic. We'll get in order, and as she speaks and kind of bounces back and forth, we're going to have our speakers just, why don't you come on right up here, and Larry will be able to catch you on camera, and we will start through that. So this is going to be kind of interactive with lots of different messages being shared. So at this time, would you please welcome one of our committee members for Veterans Day of Honor, April Nutt.
Good morning, everybody. First off, before I get started, kudos to the library for thinking outside the box and coming up with a solution. For somebody who has a busy schedule, don't know if you know this, the majority of you, but when I finished college and came home, I spent my first employment years as an employee of the public library. So I love the library. Thank you for coming up with a solution for us who need to come in after hours to do so. So good job. All right. With that, I also want to take a moment to thank both the Chamber and the City for hosting First Friday. It's a great way to bring us together for information and fellowship. I had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to visit with a more mature group of the community at the library. And in that, I asked them a question: how do you get your information? I'm always curious how we can communicate better with our community members. And so, first thing that came out of the gate when I asked that question, First Friday, and it was by many of the committee or the group members that were there. So, kudos to the city and chamber. This just doesn't just magically appear. The chamber, Lisa, works her little fanny off to make sure that we have everything ready for today. So, with that, again, thank you. All right, I need to get down to business. First off, any of you who are in the room that are veterans or family members of veterans, would you please stand up? Everybody, please join me in telling them thank you very much. This is why we do Veterans Day of Honor. This is probably one of the many committees that I'm involved in that I really, really love, because it's an opportunity for us to show our patriotism, our love for our country, and to say thank you to those who have provided us with our home. So, with that, I have so many of my collaborators here with me. We're going to kind of do this in tandem. So, we are getting ready to celebrate our third annual Veterans Day of Honor celebration. The day will be spent by our citizens of Independence and our visitors, celebrating those individuals who have served all Americans by serving in our armed forces that are here with us today, and many who are not. So we are going to be kicking off with a breakfast, an appreciation breakfast, and a color run, and we're going to culminate the day with a raffle for some Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Yeah, so if you haven't got your tickets, get busy. All right, with that, my peeps are here. We're going to go through this. So here we start. Tabitha is going to share with us a little bit of information on the appreciation breakfast and the walk of honor and the color run. So Tabitha.
Good morning. So we're going to start with the free breakfast for veterans and family at the enclosed 4-H building at 7 o'clock in the morning from 7 to 8:30. The Atmos Energy will be there making pancakes to order, right? Any kind of pancake you want. I think last year they had tons. The Knights of Columbus will be doing breakfast, and the YPIs will be serving, so it'll be a great time for that. Excuse me. And then we're going to go over to the Oval, where we're going to do a walk of honor that morning for the veterans. So we'll start out, we'll be playing some patriotic music, and if you're a veteran or a family member of a veteran, we do a walk of honor around the Oval while we're playing some music, and then after that is completed, and we don't care if it takes you 30 minutes to get around the Oval, we want you there, and I think Best Beverage will be there to help you move through the Oval, correct? Yes, so if you want to ride through the Oval, Drew will be there with his limo golf cart and give you a ride through the Oval. So if, for whatever reason, if you don't think you can walk through the Oval, show up and we will get you around there. And then after that, we are going to have a run for the colors, sponsored by Labette Health. And so we're super excited about that. It gets everybody that wants to run, walk, however crawl you want to do, and we will throw color on you, red, white, and blue. April is one of the throwers. It's a great time. You finish, and you are covered in red, white, and blue. So it is truly a fun, patriotic way to celebrate your morning. So 7 o'clock for the breakfast. The Walk of Honor will start at 9. And then as soon as the last person has crossed the finish line for that, we will start the color run. So we hope you'll join us that morning.
Thank you, Tabitha. I will tell you, the Walk of Honor is very moving. I encourage you to come out for that. I encourage you, those of you who raised your hand, stood up, please join us. It is well worth it. And the color run, if you've got kids, it's a family fun time. Come out. Have fun to go on a little jog, a little walk. and these people throw color powder on you. It's really fun, so come join us. All right, then I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about our cornhole tournament. We are going to have a cornhole tournament right here on Memorial Hall lawn. It will begin at 10:30. It is sponsored by the VFW Post 1186. So those of you who know how to toss those bags into those little bitty holes, get a hold of the Post and get yourself signed up for the tournament. Promise to have a blast. They had a really good time last year. The weather wasn't as kind to us as we would have liked for it to have been, but they brought it inside and they had such a good time. It is fun, but it is competitive, okay? All right. Then we're also going to have our historical museum has put together a military exhibit for us. So please take a few moments and go down. It's going to be open from 10 to 4. So take some time and go down and see the museum. Let them know we appreciate the time and effort that they've put into this. I've seen some of their display. It's really remarkable. We've had some incredible donors from here and around the community that have helped them put that exhibit together. So please go see it. All right. Then we're moving right along, and I'm going to turn this one over to Miss Kathy Shepard, who's going to talk to us about the Veterans Freedom Square Memorial Tribute and all sorts of other activities. So, Miss Kathy.
So Veterans Freedom Square is a memorial to our veterans out at Riverside Park. If you haven't been out there, then please come out on Veterans Day and see it for the first time and visit it again as often as you like. One of the things that we did out there is we wanted to honor our local veterans as well as veterans from other places who maybe have ties to independence. And so we have 740 pavers out there that are in honor or in memory of veterans. And so during that ceremony, we will read the names off of all the veterans who have pavers located out there. We have 19 new pavers that will be placed prior to Veterans Day. We try to place the pavers before Veterans Day and before Memorial Day each year. So those pavers will be placed. It starts at 10:30. And it's a very nice ceremony to come out and listen to the names and hear your veteran's name if they have a paver out there. The other piece that we do during that is that we, through the VFW, we have contests, one for middle school and one for high school. The Patriots Pin is the middle school contest. It's an essay contest. The students write their essays, and then they are judged locally. And the high school students write their essays, and then they have to record them. And so we have the winners of those contests come that day, and they present their essays, and then they're presented with their awards. These contests go on nationally, and from our local posts, the winners will go on to district, and if they win there, they go on to what we call department or state, and then if they win there, they go on to nationals. The scholarship at the national level for the Voice of Democracy is a $30,000 scholarship. So it's a great opportunity for kids in the local area to do that. Those were due yesterday, and so I picked those up. So we have a big job ahead of us to sort through those and pick our winners. So that's pretty exciting to have lots of entries for that. And the ceremony is a great ceremony, so come out and see that.
Thank you, Kathy. And you stay there because I think I'm going to have you speak about something else. If you'll go ahead and pass that on to Truman, and then we'll get back to that. All right. The next event that you're going to have that day that's going to be beginning at 11:30 is going to be pre-parade activities for the kiddos. We are going to have First Baptist Church is going to have all their inflatables up, and they're going to be down here at the Civic Center. So, again, I think the weather outlook look okay. So I think we're going to be good. So bring those kids down because there's going to be tons of activities down here for them to do. So please come join us. And then we have a new addition to this year's, thanks to Mr. Truman Kolb here, which I'm not going to burst his bubble. Truman, tell us about what you're going to bring to this event.
Well, you have to remember, this is my first year at this, too. Through Fastlane, we've been able to do a lot of different car shows. Most notably, the Cops and Riders car show down here in AutoZone we just had last weekend. But when I look at that kind of thing, I think, why should we do this? And as far as veterans are concerned, it occurs to me that it's a matter of memory. We definitely want to remember our veterans. They serve us so well. But when you think about them, that was their memory from being overseas or whatever. A lot of times they'd sit around and talk about all the cars and the ones they were going to buy when they got out or got back to the States. And I know it was always a big thing. So we try to honor that memory with this car show. And I need your help. Anybody you know with an old car, I don't care if it's classic, I don't care if it's a hot rod, just a neat old car that might jog a good memory with our veterans, I urge you to bring them down to the AutoZone parking lot as per the schedule here. It'll mean so much to them. I know full well how well our community responds to these kind of things. So I expect to fill a place up. We'll be down there and we'll help any way we can. We'd love to see you. We'd love to talk to you. But this is one thing that's personal for the veterans. So please participate and help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as I told you, we have tons of activities. We're about just 2/3 of the way through for the day. So we have Miss Kathy who's going to visit with us about the Celebration Park flag raising, a fallen soldier cross presentation, and our Colonel William Campbell tribute. So, Miss Kathy, share with us that. Thank you.
Our local Southeast Kansas combat veterans motorcycle group will present the Fallen Soldiers Cross ceremony. They will be doing that to remind us each that we need to honor, remember, and thank those who have suffered and made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. The Fallen Soldier Cross is a tradition that dates back to the Civil War. If you've never seen that done, it is a moving ceremony, and I think you will really enjoy that. It is not a very long ceremony, but they take each of the pieces, for example, the rifle, the combat boots, the helmet, each of it has a significant meaning, and they go through each piece of that. And so it's well worth coming out and seeing that done, and just to remember the sacrifices that have been made on our behalf, and to honor those who have given those sacrifices. So I encourage you all to come to Celebration Park. The flag will be raised by some young men here from Independence that are veterans' children.
Yes.
And then we will do the Fallen Soldiers Cross at Celebration Park.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. So really come and join us. This is something new for us to be doing this year. We wanted to bring kind of just something that just truly reminds us of why we're having the celebration for the day. So please come and join us. All right. And then, do you have something else you want to talk about?
I do. So going along with that, with the Fallen Soldiers Cross, many of you might not know about Colonel Bill Campbell. He was a graduate of Caney High School, and he was shot down during the Vietnam War. His family actually lived here while he was serving in Vietnam, and he was going to Texas A&M University at the time that he deployed. And so that's why a lot of people don't realize the connection to independence. His family, the Texas A&M University, put together a video for his family. After 48 years, his remains were recovered, and they were brought home and laid to rest in Arlington Cemetery. And so this video was put together, and I watched it before I came in here, and I had tears in my eyes again, even though I've watched it before. His family has put together a presentation. It would be his actual great-granddaughter has put a PowerPoint presentation together along with the video that the university did, and it's well worth watching. We'll actually do that here in the Civic Center once we do the Fallen Soldiers Cross. So it all ties in together about all the sacrifice that has been given for our freedom. So please come and see that. It is well worth it.
Thank you, Kathy. Again, what a great opportunity for those children or grandchildren to learn a little bit of history. All right, then we are going to be moving along to, you can have beans tomorrow. and you can have beans next Saturday. We're going to have a free community bean feed that's put on by the VFW Post 1186 right here at the Civic Center. They will be starting here at noon, so you can bring those kiddos out, have a good time here on the inflatables, go across the street and have a remarkable moment of sharing some history and the reason why we have the day, and then come back here and fill your tummy up with beans and look at the car show. Have a good time. All right. Then you got your belly full of beans, and then we can go over to the 3rd annual parade day. All right. We're going to have a parade downtown beginning at 2 o'clock. We'll have West Star's big flag here again. We'll have the banners are going up this week. So we'll have all of that. One other aspect that I encourage you to think about, those of you who have kids or grandkids, Kathy also works very hard to do a bike parade in the Veterans Day Parade. So if you have some kids, have them decorate their bikes and come down and join the parade. We want as many of those little kiddos as we can. So, and part of the grand parade, we are going to, once again, something that Miss Kathy has helped us happen to have, is a KC-135 flyover. So we'll have that back this year. Yay, exactly. All right. Then, as I said, if you haven't bought your tickets for the motorcycles, get them bought. I don't know. There's 2 of them. I think Lisa and I are going to go be the winners and see if we can't go take a vacation together and go somewhere.
We can't haul all of our stuff around.
Exactly. All right. So that's all the activities for that day. And I'll recap that here in a minute. But we have one more thing that takes place that has, I don't know how many years. I'm not going to steal his thunder. But on Veterans Day, we have the Mid-Continent Band that puts on a performance for us. So with that, Mr. Farthing, would you please share with us?
Surely. One thing that just keeps coming up to my mind, there's just nothing to do in Independence. Just nothing to do. I'm telling you, I'm amazed every time these come out, the calendars. The last couple of years, the Mid-Continent Band has performed during the parade. We have a major conflict this year. There is a high school honor band audition day at Fort Scott. So we're unable to, when I say we, a large number of the band members are high school students and band directors from the area. And they're all obligated that day. So we aren't able to provide music this year for the parade. However, we're going to go back and revert to what we've done in the past and give an actual Veterans Day concert. It'll be at the high school at 7 o'clock in the Performing Arts Center. We'll have a rehearsal this next week. The entire program will be patriotic music of various kinds, marches and overtures and stuff, all patriotic. There'll be 3 directors, Matt Carter, myself, and Aaron Shelton will share the concert. So that'll be a nice concert. I hope you'll come because every year the veterans that attend are just really, we dedicate that concert to them, and they seem to enjoy what we're doing, and we invite the entire community to come out. At 7 o'clock, the program will last no more than an hour. So thank you, and we're looking forward to playing for you.
Thank you. So, next Saturday, how many of you are all going to come and participate? All of you, right? Yeah, all those hands are up, absolutely. So, next Saturday, get up bright and early. Go down and enjoy the appreciation breakfast. Come on over, walk or watch the Walk of Honor around the Oval. Again, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Also, come enjoy the color run. It's tons of fun. I do want to give a shout out to the Hub. The Hub Church has helped us with the color run. They're also one of our sponsors along with Labette Health. So please come enjoy and join in on that. Then limber up those wrists, get ready for the cornhole tournament, go visit the military exhibit, go down and enjoy the Veterans Freedom Square Memorial Tribute. Then come bring those kids, bouncy houses, all sorts of good fun. They get to come and let the owners talk about their cars. Introduce those kids to those historical, awesome old cars. Enjoy the flag raising, the Fallen Soldier Cross presentation, Colonel William Campbell tribute. Then come get your belly full with the bean feed. And then go enjoy the parade, please. We've got lots of entrants for the parade. I can't remember how many. Where are we up to? 60, 70, 80, something like that. So we've got a good list of entrants. So come and enjoy that. And then, I guess maybe you don't need to worry about buying your ticket for the Harley-Davidson motorcycles because Lisa and I are going to win them. And then, of course, let's enjoy the Mid-Continent Band. What an amazing, they celebrated 100 years a couple of years ago. So anyway, with that, please enjoy Veterans. And I will turn this back over to Miss Lisa. So thank you.
Thank you. So, as always, the Chamber couldn't do what we do without all of our great committee members, so it was fun to have them be a part of this presentation. We all work hard and work together to pull things like this off. Aspen, are you going to do a color run? Aspen's a runner, so she'll probably be out there doing that. Shout out, Anthony Vaughn is back there. I know we've said that they are a big sponsor. They're our largest sponsor for the color run, and what's important about that is the money that's raised from that goes to finish buying brackets so that we can continue to put all the banners up that everyone is wanting to do in the downtown area and out on West Main. So we appreciate Labette Health's support for that. You're going to help us finish the race and get us to that point where all those brackets are up and we can put all those banners up that everyone is wanting to do. We have $5 posters. Kathy makes them out at Fort County. They're about this big. And it's a very affordable way to honor your veterans. So you can buy one of those at the table right over here. Amy Michelle will be helping you fill out forms for the posters. You can also buy some T-shirts. We sold T-shirts this year. Tabitha had on the first year's T-shirt. Last year's T-shirt looked like this. And this year's T-shirt has already gone to the printer, so we can't get any more of them, but we have some of these left over. So if you're wanting to get one of a T-shirt, all of the money from these T-shirts, are $15, goes to the banner project as well. So there's T-shirts on the table over there, and Michelle and Amy will be selling those, along with the $5 posters. And Coffeyville is not having a presentation celebration this year. So if you know of a business in Coffeyville you're connected to, or you know someone there, we're getting a lot of people from Coffeyville to participate in ours to make it, county-wide. So everyone is welcome. Cherryville, Caney, Neodesha, anyone is welcome to come over and be a part of our celebration. So be sure and share the word. So it's time for our last speaker today. I'm excited to have him. He's absolutely no stranger to Independence. He's been here for many, many years. He lives in Independence. He works down the road now, and Cobalt Boats is just bursting at the seams. Lots of great things are happening, and what's really cool about that is they're just our neighbor down the street. So many of us in Independence get in the car and drive to Neodesha every day and work in that facility. And we're so thrilled that they are growing to the point that they are, because that is great for this area of Southeast Kansas. So he's here to tell us all about what's happening at Cobalt Boats. He's got discount cards for boats. Yeah? Okay. And so anyway, without further ado, would you please help me welcome my friend Terry Clark.
I'll use the mic and stand up with the hand mic there.
Turn it back on. Make sure that one gets green. Is it not turning
Wait
green?
for it to turn
There we
green.
go.
Can you hear me all right? We got. I'm going to stand over here a little bit. I got a couple of videos to show. I can't speak nearly as well as Gary can, so I'm going to fill in some of my time with a couple of great videos. I will warn you in advance, the videos have a subliminal message. It's buy a boat, buy a boat, buy a boat. But a lot of great things to talk about. Let's see, I'll need a clicker too, won't I?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Poor Michelle, you know, we show up and we start throwing zip drives at her and all this media stuff that I can't even spell, so I think she's got us taken care of here. Point it at the machine, there we go. You know, I'd be remiss in talking about Cobalt if I didn't remind us how Cobalt started and all the great work that Pac St. Clair did. And this is kind of a refresher. You know, Lisa was kind enough to invite me to celebrate independence back in March kind of a time frame. And we talked about some of this back then, but, you know, we've been family-owned up till just about 2.5 years ago. And that's been a point of concern for a lot of people is, my gosh, you know, what Pac and the St. Clair family started, now we've sold it to a company, a corporate outfit out of Tennessee. Now what's going to happen? You know, are they going to want to pick up out in Neodesha and move it back to headquarters? And that's absolutely not what's going to happen. It was never the intention. They got their hands full doing what they need to do back in Tennessee. They need us to do what we're doing in southeast Kansas and continuing to build great boats in Neodesha and continuing to grow this business. It's been over 2.5 years ago. We're still there. We're, like Lisa said, bursting at the seams. We're trying to figure out how to grow the business even more than what we've been doing in the past. 50-year-old company, started out as custom electronics. A guy named Bud Ross and Pac went together to build slides out of fiberglass. Every time they built a slide, somebody fell off of it and broke an arm or a leg. Said the slide business isn't such a great business, but they bought all the systems to build stuff out of fiberglass. Why not boats instead? Went to the first couple of boat shows, didn't sell a single boat. And Bud told Pac, boat business sounds like fun, but I think I'll stick to electronics. And did so, turned the business over to Pac, and then Pac through 50 years of tenacity and hard work. And really, it's just being Pac. If you've anybody here have a chance to meet Pac St. Clair? I'll tell you, the most noble man I've met in my life. Just a phenomenal individual, relationship kind of guy. He worked really hard to make this happen. So, moved to Neodesha. Because, as Pac tells the story, nobody else wanted a boat business in their backyard. So Neodesha needed some industry. Pac took it on, started out the business with this building and 10 people. The building still stands if you happen to drive through the industrial park at Neodesha. It needs to be torn down. We don't own it, or we'd probably demolish it. But today we have over 500,000 square feet of floor space. We have 28 different buildings. 725 team members, and we're trying really hard to get to 750, and it's a challenge for us right now. I want to show a video, and the team members in the video, these are our employees. You'll see them working in the factory if they're not modeling on boats. So we'll show this, and it's a little bit about We Are Cobalt, and it's pretty new. We're pretty excited about it, and it does a good job of telling the Cobalt story as it looks like today. Michelle says if I click twice, it'll start. Oh. Oh.
Can't really trust Michelle.
Yeah, No, she said she doubts my ability to count to 2. That's the problem right there. So, Michelle, I'm going to let you click the video. Otherwise, it's going to get really awkward. Here we
go. At Cobalt, we make the best boats in the world. Because Cobalt boats are made by passionate boat people. People who understand just how hard our customers have worked to have the very best. People who take pride in the opportunity to craft, shape, forge, and fulfill the dream of another. From our designers, to our engineers, to our builders, that pride extends to every square inch of a Cobalt, where every part, every stitch, every line, everything that makes each boat unique is obsessed over to perfection. And definitively, a Cobalt. All to make sure every boat we build stands out in the showroom, stands out on the water, stands out in a customer's mind, and stands the test of time. It's why Cobalt's commitment to standard-setting performance, luxury, and innovation will always make it the preferred choice of the most discerning boating families. We do all of this to fulfill a promise we made over 50 years ago. A promise to compromise nothing in the pursuit of the best-built boat in the world. We are Cobalt.
The different models that we, wow. Discount cards, the purchase order agreements, we've got those all lined out for after the meeting. It's hard to not want to go on a boat ride after watching that video, right? The boats that we build today, we produce over 20 different models of boats. This chart kind of gives you an idea of what we build. The starting, or if you bookcase the products that we build, the 200S up in the upper left-hand corner is the smallest and less expensive boat we build. That boat will retail for about $60,000. I know there's some MSRP pricing off to the right. That's salesmanship there. The boat's really going to cost you about $60,000. The biggest and most expensive boat that we build is the A40 Coupe. That boat will typically retail over $1 million, fully optioned. People don't buy typically 40-foot boats without lots of options. And it's kind of fun. We had a couple of guys sort of competing with one another on who could outfit their A40 Coupe with the most options. It was great for us, and they're happy with the boat at the end of the day. So that kind of gives you the product offering. The fascinating thing about Cobalt, I think, is of the 2,400 boats we're going to build this year, fewer than 10 are the same. So if you walk through the shop, you won't see anything that looks alike. You see a wide variety of colors, of options. So our customers like to put their fingerprint on their boat, and this gives you an idea of what we're selling today. Some innovation things that are fairly recent. The 2019 the Miami Boat Show is the biggest show in the world. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's truly spectacular. People bring their 200-foot yachts from the Middle East or the Mediterranean and bring them to Miami and show them off. So we were the Boat Show Innovation Award winner. You saw a boat in the video that the swim pad that you see if you go to Grand Lake. You see these things rolled up, and people are trying to figure out how the heck you deal with it. They're a lot of fun. The kids have a blast playing on it, but how do you get from the marina or the dock to the cove where you want to enjoy it? And these things are very awkward. So we developed a system, our engineers developed a system where you can roll up this pad in the back of a boat in an enclosure and roll it back out when you're not using it. So that and a number of other things gave us the Innovation Award for 2019. Outboard propulsion, Mike was just asking me, I think the boat that we had in the parade for Neowalla was an outboard powered boat. Outboard propulsion is doing a great job with efficiency. They're quiet. They're very powerful. And if you're going to sell a boat today in the Florida market, it's probably going to have an outboard motor on it. So if we want to enjoy that market, we had to get on board. We did so a couple of years ago. So you'll see more Cobalts with outboard motors on them. Surf has been a big, big deal. And I think I talked about this in March. How many people have been surfing before? By a raise of hands. There are a few folks. It's kind of, I asked this question with new hires. It's amazing how many people have been surfing, but And you guys that have been surfing, you can tell me if I'm lying or not, or tell the group. But the way I understand it is you skip school, you skip work, you go to the beach, you paddle your butt off to get to the wave. But if the sharks don't eat you, you get to enjoy 15 to 20 seconds of surfing. Then you do it all over again. So you got to skip a lot of school or a lot of work to be a surfer. But somebody figured out, I'm guessing some college guys drinking beer, that if everybody sits in the back corner of the boat, they can make a wave with the boat just enough to surf behind. And we developed this at Elk City Lake here a few years ago with Sean Callan and others, literally making hundreds of trips to the lake with these big stainless steel surf tabs and computer-driven systems that help our boats, it's just a typical Cobalt boat, make a wave big enough to surf behind. 2017, or a couple of years before 2017, we started selling these. And this gives you an idea of how many surf boats we're selling. This year, this production year, 650 of our boats will have surf options. It literally makes a wave behind a boat about 4 feet high. It's almost scary to look back there and see this wave coming at you. But you throw the rope back in the boat, and you're literally surfing just like you would be at the ocean. So some recent innovations for Cobalt. Current employment, if you look at demographics, and this employment is a challenge for us. We had a meeting yesterday with corporate, and we're trying to figure out how to increase yacht production 50%. That's a big number to increase production. Our challenge in building more boats is finding more people to build them. And right now today, 720 team members is what we have. We're trying to grow to 750, and we have to hire about 10 people a week to sustain 725. So that's a challenge for us, and it's on us. It's on us, the leadership team at Cobalt, to figure this out. But nonetheless, it's a challenge. About a third of our workforce are Neodesha zip code holders, and then people, like Lisa said, we've got a lot of folks from Independence driving up to Neodesha. And why are we here? There's not very many boat factories in Kansas, except for I think there's a new startup up in Chanute that's building pontoon boats. But it's our people. It's the work ethic. It's the innovative spirit. It's homegrown Southeast Kansas is why we're here. Some things you may not know, we are very vertically integrated. We do a lot of stuff ourselves at Cobalt that no other boat companies do. We have a metal shop, machine shop, wood shop, upholstery. We have about 70 team members that just make upholstery for our boats. Most other boat companies hire other factories to make their upholstery, and they buy upholstered goods. We build our own tooling. Not even Malibu, the owner now of Cobalt, our parent company, they don't even build their own tooling. We do all of that ourselves here in Southeast Kansas. Not many people recognize that we're pretty international. We have been as much as 20% of our revenue generated from international sales. That's about less than 5% today, but nonetheless, depending on the strength of the dollar and how tariffs work, we can be more international as well. And I talked about 2,400 boats a year, fewer than 10 are the same. Expansion. I came to Cobalt 4.5 years ago, and at that time we were eyeballing about a $2 million expansion of our lamination facilities. When I say lamination, it's not taking your driver's license to Walmart. That's what I used to think it was. It's the guts of the business. It's the fiberglassing. It's different layers of different engineered materials to make the guts of the boat. It's fiberglassing and all gel coating, that kind of thing. We were eyeballing a $2 million expansion then. And people wonder, what's this Malibu investment mean for Cobalt in Neodesha in Southeast Kansas? We were eyeballing a $2 million expansion. Malibu says, think bigger. Think bigger than $2 million. So then we were eyeballing a $7 million expansion. We launched an $8 million expansion. And while we got the Kane guys from Fredonia there building the building, hanging up the red steel, laying the concrete, while they're here, let's go ahead and bump that up to a $10 million expansion. It sounds like a restaurant business, Gary. It just keeps growing and getting more expensive. But $8 million in our lamination facilities, that's building and equipment, air handling systems. And we're investing in the yacht or the big boat business with an expansion worth $2 million to make it bigger so we can build more boats and hire more people in southeast Kansas. So it's all great stuff. Another thing, kind of a point of reference or a data point, and I'm told I can't print this, so I'll talk about it. I'm sure we won't see it on TV. Whenever I went to Cobalt, we were a $130 million business, and we were thinking, how do we get to be public traded? How do we do an IPO? And we needed to be about a $450 million business to make that work. And I think the thing that PAC and Paxson realized is for us to get there, we had to do something dramatically different. And I think that their care of the business and the people said we got to do something hugely different, maybe even selling the business. So we looked at that. We did sell the business, of course. But we've grown in the last 4.5 years, from $130 million. This year we celebrated being over a $200 million business, so pretty substantial. I talk about the buildings that we're building, but we're building the staff as well. Our engineering staff is tripled. And I know, Dean, you would agree you can't have enough engineers, right? But we've tripled the engineering staff. We're bringing people in from outside, but we're also augmenting the outside resources, the people resources with internal folks. We're promoting people inside, but we're augmenting that with outside talent that we've got to do to continue to grow the business. And change is hard. Sometimes I say change, and the other say it's even harder. You take a 50-year-old business and you start changing it the way we have. It's not comfortable for a lot of people, but it's absolutely necessary for us to continue to grow, to continue to stay in business, and we're growing market share. In our segment of the business, we've grown about 4% the past year. So our competitors don't like it, but we're taking business away from them, and we're continuing to grow what we do in southeast Kansas there. Those are my notes. Economic impact, over $10 million in annual wages just for the Neodesha zip code holders. Total payroll is going to be over $30 million this year. Local taxes, almost $250,000, and we pay out about $1 million annually in local utilities. So there is obviously a lot of economic impact from that. And a couple of parting comments. This is a PAC-ism right here. We don't build boats, we build dreams. And how many of you can remember your first boat ride? I know I can, and it was a pretty neat event with cousins and family. And PAC's idea that was 50 years old but still holds true today, that people will invest in that experience, that quality experience of time with family, with the cousins and the nieces and nephews. They'll invest to make sure that quality experience is even of a higher quality with the boats that they're on. And we have people literally tear up when they get their new Cobalt, because it's not just the boat, it's the recognition of years of hard work, making good decisions, where now they can afford the best boat out there, and it's quite spectacular to see that. And this 2-foot IDIS thing is a concept that PAC mentioned to me in 2001 when I first moved here. He said, Terry, it's great because when people buy that 24-footer, they start eyeballing that 26-footer, and it doesn't stop from there. It just keeps growing because, you get more family on board, more nieces and nephews, more cousins that you can invite to enjoy that great weekend on the lake, and it's a great business. And it's kind of funny because I talked to one guy. We had one fella 2 years ago had bought his 10th brand-new Cobalt. And they started with a 20-footer. They worked their way up, and then the grandkids, the kids started moving away, and they needed something more simple to operate, so they started going back down the product offering. And they say that 70% of the people that buy a Cobalt are repeat buyers. But that's that 2,000 customer niche market that PAC and Paxson created. So the question is, how do we get to 4,000, 5,000 boats? It's a different market. We've got to expand our product offering. We've got to press the traditional styling of the boat in a way that doesn't alienate the past customers, but also gets people who may not be a Cobalt owner today excited about buying that boat. So it's a challenge, and we're up for it, and we've got a lot of exciting things going on in the Neodesha. One more video I want to talk about. You may have heard about, we got an invitation here a few months ago to visit Washington and present our products on the south lawn of the White House, and I want to show you a video. Or maybe Michelle's going to show you a video. We'll see how this works. Double click twice. Hey, what? She says, don't touch a thing. Don't touch anything.
Cobalt boats just got back from Washington, D.C. We were selected to represent the state of Kansas at the 3rd annual Made in America event at the White House, where we celebrated products made across the United States and got to represent Cobalt boats and the hardworking craftsmen here in Neodesha who make the best boats in the world every day.
Best business they've ever had the last 3 years. Year-over-year growth. That's right.
Jill and I both just enjoyed the experience to be able to walk in the White House. Our particular place was out on the south lawn of the White House. And there were 4 or 5 of the manufacturers that had large items outside. But there were 45 companies inside, kind of spread out in different rooms in the White House. I would love to have spent a couple days there just seeing all the different representatives and talking to them and learning their stories. But this is for real. It's not a window dressing celebration to get publicity for anybody, presidents or Congress or governors, anybody. The other thing that I came away with is how wonderful it is to be able to celebrate the successes.
Well, it's a great honor to be selected. There are many manufacturers across the state, and to be selected out of those to represent the state of Kansas, like I said, is very special, and it's an honor, and something that all of Cobalt's very proud of.
There is a special bond with Cobalt Associates, so different than most companies, and I just want to say thank you for making it possible for our company to, one, represent the state of Kansas, and then to be there present on the national stage, being exposed to the world. I just was so pleased to stand there and be part of it, but I couldn't help but think, gosh, there's a whole lot of people should be here.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. He's so lucky he gets to build airplanes, then build boats. So thank you very much. We're excited about everything that's happening just down the street. So we have a few things that we need to do. We have a presentation we need to make for our Invest in Indy. We have some property owners, Caesar and Sherry Martinez. They live at 501 South 4th. You're going to see a before shot up here on the screen in just a minute, and then we will reveal the after. So at this time, what I would like to have happen is our Pride members to come up. We'll do the presentation, and then everyone that is going to do a 30-second shout-out, come up right here, and we'll get those done. So at this time, Sherry and Caesar, would you come up to front? have a certificate of, excuse me here. We have a certificate of recognition that we would like to present to you. So there is that. And then we want to take a picture with this. This is the sign that we're going to be putting in their yard. It will be there for the whole month of November so that they can be recognized for their significant investment that they've made at their property with the address that was 501, South 4th. So be sure and jump in the car and drive by there and check that out. Let's see if we can see a before shot. There's the before, and I should flip the lights off, but there's the after. That is awesome. Okay, I will come see it. Okay, let's slide down that way just a little bit. Yeah, you guys get right here and stand right there. In here, we'll take some pictures. Everybody just smile till they say we're done. We truly do appreciate their investment in the community. That's what keeps Independence beautiful. So everybody come on up here. You've got 30 seconds or less. Get on up here, and Mike's going to go first, and then we're going to have Aspen second, and she's going to do some drawings. So, Mike, go ahead.
Papa, mow, mow. November the 30th is going to end up the month with the down-home Christmas of the Oak Ridge Boys right here in Memorial Hall. And they're almost too big for Memorial Hall, by the way, with semi-trucks and everything else coming. 7:30 p.m., November the 30th. We have tickets from $29 to $49.95. I just was in Tulsa not long ago to see the Oak Ridge Boys, and their price was $79 something. So we're going to get a real special thing, down home Christmas. Let's see, phone sales go on sale Monday, and then on the 25th we will be down here with the box office. The Oak Ridge Boys down home Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Papa, mow, mow.
Where are you going to get that kind of entertainment? Okay, listen up. We're going to have some drawings here from Aspen. So go ahead, Aspen. Tell them what you want them to know.
Hi, my name is Aspen Sharp. For the past 3 months, I have been selling raffle tickets as a fundraiser to give Independence a soccer complex. These are my 7 prizes, all donated by downtown local businesses.
We'll let Tabitha help you with that.
Okay, the winner for the main squeeze candle donated by Magnolia Sense by Design is Gail Hayford.
Lucky Gail. What else do you have?
The winner for the 6th prize, the $25 gift card to Apricot Lane, donated by Apricot Lane, is...
Thank you, Gary.
Remington.
Really? Remington the dog?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay, the winner for the Bulldog basket, thanks to Mr. Trout in the back there, is Rod Larimore.
These are lucky people.
Yeah. The winner for the Kendra Scott earrings, donated by Cantrell's Fine Jewelry, is Jennifer Carter.
More jewelry.
The winner for the Alex and Annie bracelet, also donated by Cantrell's Fine Jewelry, is Tasha Willett. The winner for the runner-up prize, the metallic Ray-Ban sunglasses donated by Eye Care Optometry, is LaDonna Foster.
And you have a grand prize.
The winner for the grand prize, abstract art by Jim Hayward, is Glenda Sharp.
Well, fun. Thank you. Thank you, Aspen, and congratulations on a job well done. We appreciate all that you've done. We look forward to a soccer complex in the near future, hopefully. And thank you to all the business sponsors who helped Aspen help reach her goal of raising some money for a great cause. Thanks, Aspen.
Okay, good morning. November 1st, so that marks the kickoff to holiday shopping. So we are going to kick that off in downtown Independence on November 24th with our holiday open houses from 1 to 5. Not just downtown, but also on West Main. We have great Main Street friends out there also, so don't forget them. And then at 5:30 will be our holiday parade. And this year we're going to start a little different because we want to utilize Celebration Park. It's a beautiful park there, and as you know, our retailers all chip in and donate over $1,000 for us to be able to give away those funds in Main Street dollars. So we will give that $1,000 away at Celebration Park. So we'll start near Potts Funeral Home and work our way to Celebration Park at 5:30 on November 24th. So hope you'll join us downtown.
Thank you.
Excuse me. I'm Tamisha Sewell with Eclectics Art Gallery, and I just wanted to let you know we have a ton of fun classes coming up, but the most exciting thing we have coming up is we have a brand new selfie station. Come in, take a selfie, tag the gallery, and you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to the gallery, which we will draw for during the holiday open house on November 24th. So stop by and see us and get your entry.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
Hannah Haggard, First United Methodist Church. As if November 9th was not busy enough, at 7 o'clock here at Memorial Hall, we will have Sidewalk Prophets here. They are a Christian band. We're lucky enough to have them come here. Tickets are $15. You can get them beforehand, or you can get them at the door. You don't. If you decide on Saturday, hey, I want to go to a concert, then just come on down and get your tickets. Group rates are available. So come on out. It's going to be a great time, and we would love to pack Memorial Hall and show them how wonderful Independence is. So Sidewalk Prophets, next Saturday, 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
I'm Pastor Earl Haggard from the First United Methodist Church, and on November the 23rd, Saturday, November the 23rd, from 11:30 until 1 at the Wesley Center, which is right behind the church. Most of you know where that is, but it's at 111 East Maple Street. We're having our community Thanksgiving dinner, and it's no charge. We'd like to invite everybody to come and enjoy a good meal and good fellowship together. So that's on November 23rd from 11:30 to 1.
Thank you. Do what? No, you're fine.
Yes, I'm Renita Butler with HSH Homeless Ministry. Most of you people think of Chris Mitchell as being the main character in that ministry, and he is our director. But we also have a board of directors. On November the 15th at 6 p.m., we are having a fundraising turkey dinner from 6 to 8 p.m. This will be a full dinner with all the trimmings. You can buy tickets ahead of time at the Community Access Center or from one of the board members, or you can buy a ticket at the door. We'll also have takeout dinners, so if you don't want to sit there and eat, you can. But we'll have some information about our ongoing ministry. This last year, we added 3 more units for families and women and children. So this has been an exciting year for us for growth, and we're looking to raise some money to finish up some more projects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Independence is a great town because we embrace diversity and we embrace new ideas, and we come together like this and enjoy things together. The Diversity Task Force is a branch of the Chamber of Commerce. It's a huge committee. We fill the Chamber of Commerce boardroom. There are at least 20 people on it. That tells you how committed we are to embracing diversity. This month, the 17th, it's the day we have selected to have our community dinner. The board members will be making meat servings, and then we're inviting the community to come and join for a dinner. It'll be on the 17th of November from 1 to 2:30. Come to the Civic Center. Enjoy your neighbors. Get to know some people you don't know yet. November 17th, 1 to 2:30.
Thanks, Val. Larry?
Good morning. Just want to remind everybody the ICC Jazz Band and Concert Band will be doing our full concert at the Booth Hotel Ballroom on Monday evening, December 2nd, 7 p.m. downbeat. And there'll also be a pre-concert talk, if you're interested, at 6:30. This year we're featuring the music of Miles Davis. Even if you're not a jazzer, yeah, some Miles fans here. Even if you're not a jazzer, the #1 selling album of all time is called Kind of Blue. How many of you own a copy of that? Yeah, a lot of people. Even if you're not a full-on jazzer, you might have bought one. This is the 60th anniversary of that recording, which is one of the milestone recordings in the history of music. So we're going to talk about that, the pre-concert chat. And then the concert band portion is all pirate music. So it's going to be a fun concert, and I have a rule. All my concerts are 75 minutes or less, so you don't have to worry about a long night. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, come on up, Robert. We're glad you're here.
Robert Box with Indie Brew Works, and I was just stopping by to let everyone know that we are officially opening. So thank y'all very much. Tonight we're doing we're opening a day early for first responders tonight from 1 to 6. So if you know a first responder, if you want to give them a heads up that they can stop on by and get kind of a sneak peek, then tomorrow we're officially opening from noon to 10, and then hopefully every Friday and Saturday after that. So thank y'all. We've had a lot of support. We've had a lot of people help us, and we're very thankful, and we're super excited to get going.
That is awesome. We're so excited. We're so excited. And that's another thing. Be sure and go to their Facebook page and like their page. And every time you see something pop up about Indie Brew Works, be sure and share. I say this every time. We do not want everything in Independence to be a well-kept secret. So be sure and push it out there so that everyone knows all the things that we have going on in our community. So with that, thank you very much, Gary, for sponsoring this morning. We appreciate that. We look forward to all the buzz down at the new Dickey's barbecue. That's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see the barrel ceiling inside there. And thank you to our speakers, Terry and April and Jeri, and everyone who spoke on behalf of Veterans Day of Honor. We're appreciative of that. And I look forward to seeing everyone next Saturday on that special day. And please have a great month and a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you in December.